Always sad to see a Premier League come down to an end, but we still got a few more chances to win $50,000. Hey there everybody, welcome into this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis, of course. On this episode, we're going to talk the NBC Sports Predictor app and a chance to win $50,000 with one of our favorite games, the weekly Premier League contest that we play. All you got to do is correctly predict 5 games this week in the Premier League, give them the right result and correct score to take home that $50,000. You can also still win $1,000 from NBC if you have the most points, 4 points right for the result, and 10 points right for the correct score. And I'll also be giving away $25 this week to the winner of the Winning Bets League. Whoever has the most points at the end of this match week will take my $25. If you need that league information to go ahead and join and compete, you can find it in this video description, so highly encourage you to do that and compete against your fellow Winning Bet supporters. It's been a lot of fun throughout the season. Let's see who won last week. Looks like we had VIPC go ahead and take the victory with 26 points. And boy, did they have a really impressive entry. They got all 5 games right. They got one of those on the correct score. And then the other 4, they got the result right. So very, very good work right there. But this week, we all start with 0 points. So it could be your week to take my $25. Again, get in that group if you're not already. You're starting to get into the part of the season where it's tough, right? A lot of games just don't matter. If you follow me from a betting perspective, last week I only gave out 2 Premier League bets. Both of them won, went 2-0, so that was certainly a good feeling, but I only gave out 2 bets. Just getting to the part of the season where it's just hard, few games remaining, and just a lot of meaningless game. But credit NBC. They gave a fair number of games here this week that do have some meaning, so it should be fun to go through these. With that, let's go ahead and do it. The first game we got here is a big game, big game actually. Watford is taking on Burnley. Burnley's now out of the drop. They're 2 points above Everton. Although Everton does have a game in hand, so that maybe kind of makes it even, but the fact is, Burnley's going to be feeling good going into this fixture. Finally out of the drop, and for somebody who loves betting on Burnley, boy, I love that they're no longer in the relegation zone, and maybe that they can go ahead and stay up. I'm liking Burnley right now. I generally always like Burnley, but there's a lot to like Burnley, you know, from a non-homerism, so to speak, because they've got good momentum, and they're just pushing the right buttons. They've, unfortunately, for my liking, fired Sean Dice, but it's working out, and that's all that matters is they've gotten wins. Nice clean sheet up against Wolves this past weekend, so really like Burnley and like what they're doing. It's a must-win game for Watford. I mean, if they're going to avoid relegation, you absolutely have to win this game. It's at home. This is no draw for them. Doesn't do them any good. You've got to go out there and you need to get all 3 points. But Burnley's just been too tough defensively. Really just too tough. Everton, you know, while they've got a game in hand, I don't think if Burnley can play this game too defensive, though. They need to go out there and still try and get points because Everton does have that game in hand. So I don't expect Burnley just to kind of sit back and pack it in, so to speak. So I think this will be a good football game between 2 relegation rivals. I'll go ahead and take Burnley, though, to get the win. Just been too impressed with what Burnley's been doing lately. I will say Watford finds the back of the net, but go ahead and give me Burnley 2-1. Almost went clean sheet just because how really tough Burnley is defensive. But I think Watford pulls one out here at home. So 2-1 win for Burnley for me. Leeds and Manchester City is the next game, and this one's also a big game, obviously, because what Manchester City's got going on there with the title race. Leeds is feeling a lot better, certainly out of relegation, so not as big of a game for them. The reverse fixture was all Manchester City. They won this game 7-0. No concern with me for the Champions League. One, because they're fighting for the Premier League title, so they obviously need to take this game seriously. And Guardiola has a lot of depth on that team. I mean, they can bring in a Gundogan who didn't play this past weekend. They can bring in a Jack Grealish who didn't play this past weekend. They bring in Sterling who, you know, came on late against Real Madrid. I mean, they've got players that they can go ahead and just rotate in, and they really don't miss a beat. They're just that deep of a squad, so just no issues with me. And they're going to take this game completely serious. Maybe they don't give it the full-on go in terms of just attack, press, and just go hard for 90 minutes because they do have a big game, obviously, in the following midweek against Real Madrid in Madrid. So that'll be on their mind, but when you're fighting for a Premier League title, you don't take any games off, and that's obviously what they want to do, is they want to be the Premier League champion. So I've got City winning this game. No big surprise. It's will Leeds find the back of the net? I just don't think they will. I'm just too impressed with what Manchester City does in terms of beating teams domestically on the clean sheet. So I'll go ahead and do Man City 2-0. I got a 2-0 win to Manchester City. Everton and Chelsea is up next, and I'm recording this before Thursday's game with Chelsea, so don't quite know what they're going to do against Manchester United. Doesn't really impact how I feel about this game, though, because I think Chelsea's still got a lot to fight for. You want to finish in 3rd place. It gives you a better draw in next season's Champions League contest as opposed to coming into that draw being the 4th place Premier League team. So they're still certainly fighting. Huge gap between these two teams, obviously. I mean, Chelsea's what, in 3rd place, and Everton would be, they're actually in relegation now. Yeah, they're in 18th place. So Massive, massive gap between these two clubs. I don't care that Chelsea will have played Thursday. Again, I already mentioned that. They're used to quick turnarounds. They've been playing quick turnarounds all season long, being involved in the FA Cup, obviously a deep run in that, and then obviously in Champions League, making another deep run in that. So no real concerns with the quick turnaround on Thursday night game there against United. Chelsea's going to win this game. It's just a matter of, do you think they'll keep a clean sheet? I almost went clean sheet again, but Everton's got to start showing more fight and just start getting forward. So I did 3-1 Chelsea. I got a 3-1 win to the Blues. West Ham and Arsenal is up next, and this is pretty much what I've been talking about with West Ham, about focusing on the Premier League, and it was no more evident than last week with that lineup they tried out against Chelsea. They rested players. They rested Antonio. They rested a few other players. They've got the Europa League squarely on their mind. That they're in, what, 6th place now? You don't really want to be in that Europa Conference League thing. Actually, I think they're in 7th place going to the Europa Conference League, if I got that right. They don't want to be any part of that dumb conference. They want to be in Champions League. And how do you get the Champions League? You win Europa League. You win Europa League. They're probably the favorites now. If it's not them, it's probably Leipzig. And who knows who would win between Leipzig and West Ham. I think that would be a good final right there. So, yeah, I think they're going to do the same thing they did against Chelsea. They're going to rotate some players. Again, we don't know what the result will be on Thursday against Frankfurt, but even if, the second leg is going to be all on their mind. So this is just so that presents itself now for a nice spot for Arsenal, right? They've had good momentum. They've come over. They've been able to beat Chelsea, obviously most recently. You know, they slipped up to Southampton. They slipped up to Brighton, but they bounced right back, obviously, against Chelsea and what have you. So like that right there, just a sweet spot with what I'm predicting West Ham to do. And it's also not my prediction. Again, just look what they did against Chelsea, resting some players ahead midweek here against their Thursday game. So West Ham wants Europa League title. I think they're going to go ahead and get that. And at the expense, they're going to go ahead and lose this game. They've been tough at home, though. They've only conceded 22 goals in 17 games. I think they're not going to score, though, on Arsenal. I think they're going to rest an Antonio, maybe rest a Fornals or a Bowen, maybe like one of those two, because you'll see Yarmolenko come into this squad. So they're just not going to have the firepower to beat a good Arsenal back four with Ramsdale as well. Arsenal win this game. I think Arsenal wins it 2-0. Then the last game is probably the only meaningless game here, really, between these five. It's Manchester United and Brentford. I mean, technically, Manchester United is fighting something. Ralph Rangnick said they're not fighting for the top four, so I guess that means they're fighting for Europa League or Europa Conference League. As a United supporter, I'm hoping they don't even make that and they can just focus on the Premier League next season. I think that would do that club a lot of good. Kind of really play into their reset. They've just been struggling since Sir Alex Ferguson, mainly due to, head coaches just coming and going. Player recruitment's been terrible. So I'm hoping that they fall out of that and just focus on the Premier League next season. They're obviously in bad form. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. Again, maybe that's going to be 4 out of the next 5. I'm recording this before Thursday's Chelsea game, which I'm expecting Chelsea to certainly win that game. But you know what? And in that stretch where they lost 3 of the last 4 games, they only beat Norwich. I mean, Norwich will only be in the Premier League next year. And that's, okay, good job, United. You beat Norwich, but everybody else in the last 4 games, you've gone ahead and lost to. Brentford with 2 straight away wins. That's been really nice. They beat Chelsea. Obviously, with Eriksen scoring in that game, they had a lot of emotion right there. And then they also most recently beat Watford away too. So they're in nice, good away form. United are just a mess. They're a mess on the pitch with just how they're playing, form, and what have you. And they're also a mess off the pitch. With the new manager coming in, that makes the little things unsettled in the club. Players are worried if they're going to be, transferred out or if they're going to be kept by the new manager. It's just a lot of uncertainty right there, and it's shown, I think, in their performances. They're just playing really bad football. So I think this is a spot where Brentford can get a point. I don't know if Brentford can get a win at Old Trafford, but I think they can certainly get a point. I'm expecting goals in this one. 2-2. 2-2 is what I settled on at Old Trafford. So United versus Brentford, 2-2 draw. All right, guys, and that's how I'm doing it here on the NBC Sports Predictor app for a chance to win $50,000. This is match week number 35, so that means when we come back next time, there will only be 3 more weeks left in the Premier League. Time is whittling down. Should be a good finish, though, and I hope we can help somebody win $50,000 along the way. Hit that like button on your way out, and I'll see you guys next week. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.